Hi, I'm Christian. Welcome back to another On the Road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage. The tools you will need to complete this repair are a pair of needle nose pliers, a 1/4-inch nut driver, or a 1/4-inch drill bit incorporated with the drill. Today we're working on a Frigidaire freestanding range. The customer's complaint is that it was coming up with the F1 error code as they were baking. The F1 error code is an error code that's displayed when the temperature gets too hot in the oven. So what I did last time, there's 2 steps you have to do. The first one was to make sure that the thermistor or oven sensor wasn't shorted and that it was within the correct resistance range, and it was. So the next step was to actually replace the main control board. So to begin the repair, we do have to access the back of the appliance, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it out and start there. Now that we have the unit pulled out and we have access to the rear, to gain access to the actual main control that we'll be replacing is behind the top panel here. So the first thing we wanna do is start removing the 1/4-inch screws. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So I'm gonna begin by removing this bottom one here and then probably going in a counterclockwise motion. Now, when I get to my last screw, I'm going to actually hold the panel with one hand so it doesn't just fall down. Careful when you do so because the panel is very sharp. Now, I'll grab the panel and set it aside. Now that the top panel has been set aside, we're going to begin next by removing the actual wire connectors that go to the main control. You can see right here, this is a multiple wire connection. I'm just gonna pull straight out on it, just like that. And then there are 3 actual wires here on the side, a yellow, blue, and black. They are spade. They have a spade connection on them. So to remove these, you just pull straight out. Remember where these wires go, you will have to put them back in the same order that you removed them. So. I'm gonna undo this actual wire restrainer here. That way I can access the actual 1/4-inch screws that mount the actual main control in place. So now that all the wires are removed, next step is to remove the 4 1/4-inch screws. They are in the 4 quarters. Now, as I'm removing the last one, I'm going to use my free hand to hold the control so it doesn't just fall. Just like that. This is our new main control board here. As you can see, there is no printed overlay that it comes with. You actually have to buy the part separate. If you try to remove the old one from the old control board, you can try it. You may have success, you may not. Lots of times what happens is the actual paint on the overlay peels off and stays on the actual control board. So on the new control board, you'll have a spot where you'll see a black piece. It's because the paint's peeled off. So here's the new overlay. We're gonna go ahead and put this on before we mount the control board. So it's pretty much just a sticker. You just remove the protective coating. And the backside has some adhesive on it, so you want to make sure you line it up correctly. And be very careful when you do so, because once it sticks, it's pretty hard to get back off. So. Just like so. And then you just push it down to make sure that it's seated on correctly. As you can see, the control was clean. If yours is dirty, go ahead and wipe it off before you put the actual sticker or the overlay on the control. Now we're going to install it. To begin so, we're going to go ahead and line up the actual control in the screw holes where these screws will mount the control. Next, we'll return the 4 1/4-inch screws to mount the control. Now, when you're doing this, especially if you're using a drill, make sure the torque is turned down. That way you don't crack the actual mounting spots for the screws. And once you have the top 2 screws set into place, you can go ahead and it'll free up your other hand, and we can return the last 2. Just like that. Now we can reinstall the wires. I'm gonna start with the yellow bake wire. Goes up top, and you just push it on all the way. Next is the blue. And finally is the black. Now we can actually do the multiple wire connector. Go ahead and line it up, and it pushes straight on. As you can see on this new control, there were 2 more open wire terminals on the actual control. They were not used on this unit. Now resecure your wires with the restraint. Now we can reinstall the back top panel. Now we're ready to install the top panel in the back. To do so, you want to go ahead and the 3 tabs on the top get tucked under the actual control panel like this. Be careful again because it's very sharp. The first screw that I'm going to replace, again, they're all 1/4 inch, is going to be the top screw here. That'll free my hand up, and I can properly align the rest of the screws. And that will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality in-home repair video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.